Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to a regular meeting of the Drainage District Number 1 Board of Directors. President are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks for another great day that you've given us. Thank you for the opportunity to come serve you today, Lord. I continue to ask that you provide wisdom, discernment to this judge and 4 commissioners that you have appointed, Lord, to lead this great county. Continue to give myself wisdom as well and discernment. All the leaders of this county, Lord, all the workers, have them work as they're working for you, Lord. I ask for this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Under open, no one signed up. Our consent agenda, any concerns?
No, sir. None whatsoever today.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Discussion, Dow County Drainage District Number 1 Drainage Projects, Maintenance and Operations. We're just continuing. We've been updating our information on our website, and our approach is to continue to work on our 2012 bond projects. We are having several meetings with some of the leaderships out there that are helping the rural development communities. So we're working with them to get as much information to them as well. It's still an ongoing project, so we're working hard to put that up there. Our goal is to try to get this done hopefully by the end of this year, and then beyond the 2012 bond issuance, we're going to start posting information on other projects that we're working on, not just the bond projects, but priorities bond projects now. And beyond the bond projects, we have probably another 25 to 30 projects on the books that we're working on, different partnerships we have with irrigation districts, with the precincts and cities and so forth. So we want to be as transparent as possible and provide that information so the public can see all the projects that we have going on at the district. That's all I have right now.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, before that, I want to make sure the record reflects that we've been joined by Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2. And go ahead and proceed to item number 6.
Thank you, sir. Discussion, consideration, and action to enter into a 36-month lease agreement with Dell, Inc. through district's membership with Texas Department of Information Resource, DIR, contract number DRSSD 1951 for the lease and technical support of 4 Dell Precision Workstations T5810 desktop computers and 14 Optiplex 5040 MT desktop computers in the amount of $923.08 per month.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. I do have just one item to discuss.
Pursuant to 551.071 and 072, need a motion to proceed to executive session.
Motion to.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're going to be in executive session for a short while.
Item AA, no action.
Yes.
All right, we are now back in open session.
Yes, sir, Judge. Item AA, real estate acquisition, no action or not taken. And item AB, pending on potential litigation, will proceed as directed on that item. That's it.
That's it.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We will now convene our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, July 26, 2016. President Dar, Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Help us always be mindful of all the things that you do for us, all the blessings you bring us, to live in this country, to be free, to have people that governs us, that cares about what we need every day. We ask you, dear Lord, to bless our families, bless our country, bless us today and everybody that's here, hoping for the best for Hidalgo County. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
All right, any concerns with the consent agenda?
Motion approved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item number 5A, we have a resolution in honor of the McAllen Dynamo South Texas Academy GU17 soccer team on winning the 2016 President's Cup National Championship.
Awesome.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Girls, if you could line up here, facing Commissioners Court. We'll line up there afterwards. Sounds good. This is really a first of a kind for Hidalgo County, that they won the national championship. So the resolution reads as follows. Whereas the McAllen South Texas Dynamo GU17 is a traveling girls soccer team that competes year-round against clubs from across the nation, and whereas the McAllen Dynamo defeated Nevada's FC Warriors Blue 99 on July 17th to win the 2016 President's Cup Championship, they are the first girls soccer team from the Rio Grande Valley to ever win a national championship. And whereas the team also had 5 players take the top 18 awards of the tournament, including Most Valuable Player and Most Valuable Goalkeeper. Whereas the South Texas Dynamo is the current STYSA State and Region 3 champions, which is comprised of clubs from Texas to California. They are led by a devoted group of parents and head coach Gary Hamilton, who's joining. Come on up, Gary, who's here with us as well. Coach Gary Hamilton, as well as assistant coaches Aaron Acevedo and Glad Buguru. And whereas the players are, raise your hands when I call your name, please, are Eva Alanis, Kimberly Cano, Veronica Doherty, Clarissa Gonzalez, Aletha Gutierrez, Weston Henderson, Isabella Marinaro, Emily Morton, Mia Munoz, Miranda Munoz, Andrea Reyes, Sydney Rivera, Chrissy Rivera, Sarah Serrano, Olivia Vasquez, and Caitlin Watson. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby congratulates the McAllen STX Dynamo U17 girls soccer team on its President's Cup Championship and wishes them much continued success, dated this 26th day of July 2016.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
Congratulations.
Just a quick few words. I'd like to thank the Hidalgo County Commissioners. Thank you very much. It's a great, great honour. Apologise for the 5 missing players. We didn't know we were coming back here again. They're away on vacation with their families for the summer. Just to follow on the notes of the resolution, it's actually the first girls team south of San Antonio that's actually won the national finals, and I forgot to tell you that, sorry. So it's a huge honour. And on behalf of all the girls, we want to thank everybody from the Rio Grande Valley, because we've been shown such tremendous support all the way through the entire 12 months, and we're very grateful. And these girls are going to carry the flag for women's soccer for a long time, so thank you very, very much.
Awesome.
And if you want to see yourselves on television, it'll be on Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Great, thank you.
At night.
You can sleep late.
Girls, move up.
All right, on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. One more time. Great, sorry. There we go. Thank you. And then the counts, I think. Okay, thank you, girls.
Thank you, girls. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Creo que sí.
Item number 6, our DA's office. Is anyone here from the district attorney's office?
It's coming.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. Rosie Cantu presenting for the DA's office. 6A, requesting approval for County Treasurer's Office to issue payment for reimbursement of registration fees in the amount of $40 to Victor M. Garza after auditing procedures are completed by the County Auditor.
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Can I do 12?
Well,
Two other items.
Yeah, what's the other
Haida?
item?
12A,
Go ahead.
HIDA Task Force Funds 1252 and 1254, requesting approval of the amended FY 2015 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report for the HIDA Task Force.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, requesting authorization to submit the amended FY 2015 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report on behalf of the agency head, Mr. Ricardo Rodriguez Jr., Criminal District Attorney, and governing body head, Ramon Garcia, Hidalgo County Judge, after review and approval by County Auditor, District Attorney, and County Judge.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter B, approval of interfund transfer from Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney's HIDA Task Force Chapter 59 Fund 1251 to the Sheriff's Chapter 59 Fund 1227 and Constable Precinct 3 Chapter 59 Fund 1230.
Motion approved.
second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
May I present 14A? District Attorney, authorization and approval to purchase new wireless service through the county's membership participation with contract DIR SDD 1779 with Verizon Wireless for the following: 1 cell phone for office use and 1 data card for office use.
Motion approved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, going back to item number 7, our county clerk's office.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Annette
Good
Muñiz,
morning.
Chief Deputy for Arturo Guajardo Jr., Hidalgo County Clerk. We're requesting approval of the official bond renewal for Elections Administrator Ivan Ramon.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 8, our constable, precinct 1, 8A.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, for the Constable's Office, Precinct 188, they're asking consideration and approval to appoint a reserve deputy constables. This is by Constable Celestino Avila, Constable Precinct 1. This is in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code 86.012. The name of the individual for reserve deputy is Mr. Jose Juan Davila.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item B, Constable Precinct 3.
Good morning, Chief Deputy Gonzalez, Constable Precinct 3. Today we have approval and renewal interlocal agreement between Hidalgo County and the following school districts: Stop Truancy Program for 2016-17 school year. La Jolla Independent School District, Mission Consolidated Independent School District, and Sherland Independent School District.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, our tax office. Or no?
Sorry, 9 or 10?
Item 9.
Item 9, our tax office.
Judge, why don't we pass on that? I do,
They're not here?
they're not here.
Okay, we'll come back to it.
Yes.
Let's move on to item number 10, our sheriff's office.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, sir.
Item 10A, authorization and approval to submit a state administrative agency extension request form in reference to Operation Stone Garden fiscal year 2014, and authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign required document.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 11, Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 11 is approval for the county judge to sign a certificate for Arlington Higher Education Finance Corporation Education Revenue Bonds. This is the Responsive Education Solutions Series 2016A, solely for the purpose of satisfying the requirements of Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code. Judge, Commissioners, this is not the first time that we have brought an item like this before Commissioners Court. This is a requirement of the Internal Revenue Code, and so therefore I have worked with Mr. Crane's office. Everything is in order.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 11B is approval to accept a settlement check from Kramer, Johnson, Wiggins, and Associates in the amount of $37,500, and a settlement check from Lexington Insurance Company in the amount of $75,000 to settle storm damages to county property during the weather event of May 31st, 2016.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, we do have Ms. Flores in the audience, our Head Start director. This was an item that was going to be towards the beginning of the agenda, but Ms. Flores had and staff had a commitment today, early this morning. I know she did relay to me that she would make every effort to be here as quickly as she could. I do see her in the audience. Okay. Judge, this is with respect to the item, or the last action item that we have on the agenda, and it is 16A. We'll go to 16A, Head Start program.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Silguero, in case there's any questions, Mr. Silguero as well.
This is a discussion, consideration, and action to submit an application for a cost of living adjustment, COLA, that is provided in the 2016-2021 Notice of Award, NOAA, issued by the Department of Health and Human Services to the Hidalgo County Head Start Program for beginning July the 1st, 16 to December 31st, 2016. The information that was put together for this agenda item recommendation came as a result of direction from the Commissioners Court to review it and include staff from the county's office, including Mr. Silguero, and from the different precincts, as well as our PC members from the PC in a committee that met on Monday, our committee meeting, and Tuesday.
Ms.
And then
Flores,
the
is the first item just to authorize you to submit it, or are we talking about item
The
one?
actual, it's the first item is the submission of the application, and the application contains the recommendations. Okay?
Okay, so we do it all together?
Yes, and then it goes to the second part that gives you more detail, number 2, with regards to the exhibits that were, I think, provided to you by by Mr. Silguero's department.
Okay.
I have the first part, which is the application, which we can give out.
Thank you.
Based on the committee meeting, the input from the entities there, and following recommendations given during the Commissioners Court, the present COLA, or cost of living, application reflects at 2.32% from July to December of 2016, for all employees except the 5 which had a differential adjustment. That differential adjustment was now adjusted to be 50% of the original recommendation for the remainder of the year, which is 44%. So when you look at the application itself, you see that those figures in there, and you see the application showing that amount of money. We have no more than 202,059 COLA. We cannot exceed that amount, and then we have to have the in-kind part of it. There's an Exhibit 1. That Exhibit 1 reflects every employee in the Head Start program, and then it reflects the last 5 positions, which the county has separated into another exhibit. I think you have it before you. And it shows the impact for those 5 positions. Myself, 2 assistant directors, the MIS director, and the chief financial officer. The last one is the scale, because as you adjust COLA, it adjusts the scale. And you see the application of the scale with the asterisks noting the differential salaries in there. Okay? That is the first part of that's number 1. Okay? And then number 2 reflects the approval of the adjustment. And the approval of the adjustment that is submitted is the approval that you see there after calculating and recalculating. That's as far as it was able to go. So that's just why we have that the 2.32 COLA increase, and then, of course, the differential at 50%. I don't know if Mr. Silguero wants to say something at this point.
As Ms. Flores has indicated, Judge Commissioners, the COLA for 2016 was actually divided into 2 parts, and I don't know why the Office of Head Start, apparently when the money becomes available, a few weeks ago you approved a COLA for the first half of the year, which was provided 2% adjustment to all employees, 765 employees, and 5 employees got differential, what they call differential. In other words, it's not the same as the others. They got increases that ranged from 12 to 16%, roughly, rounding. And the direction of the court, when the second part of the COLA was presented, was a continuation of the first, and then the direction that you gave us is to come back and you asked Mr. Teresa to relook at that in terms of maybe increasing the amount to the lower paid employees instead of 2%, something a little higher, and reducing the differential to half or less the increase. And that's what she's done now. The caption on the agenda says 2.45. We had to put the item on the agenda. We had to post it, and at that time we were still working the numbers, and we were hoping to get to 2.45, but we were only able to get to 2.32. In other words, 765 employees will now get, for the second half of the year, an increase. Instead of 2%, they're going to get 2.32%, and the 5 administrators that were scheduled to get anywhere from 12 to 16% are not going to get half of that, which is 6 to 8%, and that would be for the second half of the year and ongoing for the future.
Raul, will you clarify one thing? And I think Ms. Flores had covered this already. So when you're applying the COLA, it's separate. It's all other employees other than the salaries that you're applying the differential. Is that correct? Is that how it was presented? Or are the 5 slots that are getting half, are they also being included on top of that?
No.
Okay, I just want
clarification.
No,
we're just providing half of the initial COLA was approved for the first half of the year.
So in that sense, it's the difference between the 2.3 to whatever the percentage is going to be.
Right, exactly. Okay. Instead of 3.2, it's 8%, 6%, okay, so forth. Yes, sir.
Let me explain a little bit. Mr. Silguero noted that he wasn't sure why they did COLA in 2 parts. The main reason is because we ended the old grant on June the 30th, and it became a competitive grant. We got the new funding starting July the 1st. So when we had applied for the old grant, because it ended July the 30th, and because they only provided till July the 30th, which was at 56% of the year, that's how it was provided. When the new grant under a new number came in July, they requested that we do the application again, and that's why it came to you with two parts. Unlike other years, it only comes once, okay? And the span of time was restricted in the spring. We got it in May. We had to turn it in by May 31st. And then this one, we got it 19th of July, and we had to turn it around and turn it in July 31st. Okay. And that's why we had that break. Okay?
Just another comment. Unlike the COLAs that we like I mentioned at the meeting last night, that there's different definitions of COLA. In the county, our COLA is based on the Consumer Price Index. The Department of Labor tracks inflation, and they have indices that track what the inflation is based on the cost of goods, market basket of goods. And we in the county, we track that so that we can recommend to the court adjustments for inflation. And this year, the county approved a 3% COLA for employees, which reflects the inflation rate over the last few years. In this case, Head Start, they're given a certain amount of money, and they indicate you have to give employees at a minimum this amount, at a minimum. And you can give other amounts to other people different than that, but you have to explain it, and you have to stay within those dollars. So in this case, the direction they got was you have to give each employee at least a 1.8%. That was the minimum requirement. And in this case, we were able to give the employees 2.32, and a differential, 5 other employees, a different amount. It's allowed, and if there's justification and explanation, and in the narrative, they provide that justification and that explanation.
Ro, just for the benefit of the taxpayer, when we're talking about Head Start versus Hidalgo County employees, so you referenced last year that we gave employees a 3% cost of living. Did that include Head Start, or did that not include Head Start employees?
No, sir. Okay. They get funding for COLAs at different times than not every year, and also at the county we don't provide a COLA every year. Head Start, for example, got money for COLA in 2014, and the county did not provide a COLA at that time. For 2016, we got a 3%, and Head Start did not get. There's no county dollars involved. They're limited to the money that they get for COLA from the feds. So they have to wait for those monies to come to be available. And it's just a matter of deciding when they get it. Do we give everybody across the board equal, or do we have a need for differential for whatever reason? And I think that was the issue is the differential. We just need to be a little more transparent about that.
There goes my next question. So in regards to differentials and salary adjustments, as we call it in the county, okay, so primarily the Head Start program funds all salaries. It's not the general fund.
Exactly. Yes, sir. And when you talk about adjustments, we've done adjustments during COLAs and during budget time, if anything is there that we can use for that, because our budget is fixed. When we dealt with the staff that we dealt with, we have one more component that you'll hear about, and that's our lowest paid employees. All employees that are working with us right now, there's about 400 of them, are earning less than $20,000. Those employees were addressed with a new grant where we have cut 9 teacher salary positions and 9 assistant teacher salary positions to the tune of almost $600,000, so that we can move all of those to $20,500. You'll see that increase going from 4.5% to 10%. The majority, about 275 of them, are going to get about 9 or 10% increase. Okay, yeah. That's the lowest paid employees. That's part of what's in here. This is a whole picture of how we have addressed adjusted differentials at different times. We were the last group,
Right.
the lowest paid employees and us.
Okay,
And now we may not compare to everybody else, but we do with what we have and had tried to put some salary scales that reflect educational levels because we cannot do step and grade. We can't afford it.
Right,
Okay.
and I'm only narrowly asking these questions for the benefit of the taxpayer that's looking. There's a lot of ambiguity, and there's a lot of questions that arise when talking about COLA and differentials and things like that. So some of the questions just for clarification.
Sure.
I guess my concern will be here forward.
Yes, sir.
Is how we handle what is called differential versus what is a COLA. And I know that we've asked Raul Seguero and Valdeguerra to get involved.
Yes.
And to make sure that at the end of the day
Yes, sir.
that we have a process
Yes.
that's clearly defined so the taxpayers
Yes.
fully understands.
Yes. That's what we're planning to do. In fact, in looking at the county's involvement, they will be participating in our processes anytime we have any monies having to do, of course, with salaries, but also programmatic kinds of things coming to you and your staffs, participating in our policy council meetings, and certainly looking at how we can establish some congruency with the kinds of procedures that are in place anytime that is going to happen. Like I said, we don't get them very often. It happens a little bit here and a little bit there because that is all we can afford. Okay, and so here on forward, we do have a new 5-year grant, and if we get COLAs in between those 5 years, certainly, the transparency you're expecting, the commitment to have congruency with other county departments, perhaps even comparability studies that can assist us in the process, can bring light to, so that you can be able to see that. The restraints on time, I hope, will not be as they were this time, given the fact we were closing a program and opening another one. So here on forward, yes, sir, our commitment to do that.
One more comment I want to make, Commissioner, just to the COLA amounted for the second half of the year $200,000, but I think it's important to note that $500,000 or so was diverted to the lowest paid employees, such that when you include the COLA, the lowest 400 paid employees got increases that range from 4% to 10% when you count the COLA, and the other thing to consider, to know about that, is that the majority of these employees, they work a 1,600-hour year compared to 20 hours. So when you convert their salary of $20,500 to an hourly wage, it's in excess of $12. It's at $12 and change per hour, which is in line with the living wage that the judge has indicated he would like to move the county into a living wage. Our current minimum wage is $10.10 an hour, and we want to be able, I think it's not going to cost us very much to have a living wage of $12 an hour for county employees, and at least we can say that in Head Start, they're already at that level.
Our year allows 12 weeks off for the field employees, less for the central office employees, like 3 weeks less or so. So when you look at the summer leave, they're talking about 2 months off, 2 weeks in Christmas, spring break, and Thanksgiving. And we don't count the other holidays. And that's what Mr. Silguero was referring to on an hourly basis. Although we issue checks all year, when you look at days worked, days paid, you're looking at $12.80 an hour for that. But we, in order to complete the whole picture of the adjustments, the salary adjustments, and the COLA, you were presented with this so that we can also move forward with the lowest paid employees, since it started July the 1st, for us to be able to do that once the Office of Head Start approves the COLA part, because it still has to go through scrutiny from the Office of Head Start, as it's done in the past. So we have the first item that has the action to submit the application as presented to you. And the second part that talks about the COLA increases with the exhibits that you saw. Then you have number 3, which approves the deletion of the 18 positions as listed in Exhibit C, which were part of what the Office of Head Start negotiated with the new grant, and the approval of the increase adjusted to those salaries. So they moved to $20,500 for all Head Start employees, as you see in the exhibit. The Office of Head Start, the NOAA or the Notice of Award, includes it, approves it, and we can move forward. But it does require, of course, it's a salary adjustment, and that's why we put it in so that you could see how it all works up together for our employees. This morning, I addressed the employees, talked to them about the future of our program with the new grant, and yes, there was excitement of the $20,500. We addressed all our employees this morning in an opening session. We have 2 days of in-service going on. Okay?
I make a motion to approve item A1.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Judge, I don't know if you got an item that they signed up to speak.
To speak on this one? Coming over.
Before you vote, if we did the participation form, are we able to say something?
Okay, the participation form is an open form exhibit, so if you speak right now, then
The time is taken
It's
off.
taken off.
That's fine. That's fine. We would like to be able to speak before you
Okay, well, you-
vote on something.
Go ahead and
So we
speak.
have a question. I don't want to get in her way. I was accused of pushing in front of her the last meeting, so I'll wait.
That didn't come
Thank
from
you.
me.
Oh, yeah. My question today is, did the judge and the commissioner, did you receive the 5-year study on the salaries? Did y'all request that to look at it before you make this decision today? And I also would like to ask, on this Exhibit B, are these positions supposed to have a degree? I know with all the meetings that I've listened and here over the years, they push degrees. Do all of them have a degree, or have you checked that? I can answer they don't all have degrees. You need to check on possibly 2. Also, we're talking about a 12% for these differential and things. Why don't y'all seem so proud, and she seems so proud about giving the 2% and whatever more that you just decided on, 2.32% for the other people. Why don't you just give them, these 5 on this thing, the same thing that you're giving the others? This is the poorest of poor children that this program takes care of. Think about that. The poorest of the poor. And we're talking about, they're already getting anywhere from $96,844, $54,900, $66,000, $81,000, $79,000. And they're going to go over $100,000, $104,915.20. Don't you think that's a little high? I got phone calls into the night last night saying that this is unfair. If we get just the COLA, why are they not just getting the COLA instead of the differential? So this is what our question is have you done your homework? Have you looked to see what the salaries were the last 5 years? So that you can actually make a good decision other than, let's just give them half.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. I have a couple of questions, and as Fern says, we've had many people from the parents, concerned parents, employees of Head Start reach out to us. One of my questions is, I believe she runs this program with an estimated 3,960 students, and she wants to be paid basically as a superintendent. Any school in our county, any district, has well over 3,960 students. I think that's something that we should look at. As far as the 2% COLA or 2 point whatever it is now, what about the differential? Why don't the other staff members get a differential as well? You know, we're going to play fair. Give it to the other employees. We have also, the concern has also been raised about maybe getting an audit on the books and all the financials for the Head Start program for the past 5 years. We have parents, as like I've said, and also employees that are very concerned about the discrepancy in the financial. I think that's something that you all really need to look at. And I urge you not to approve this budget. Take a good hard look at it before we make any decisions. And also, I want to ask that $5,000 desk that Ms. Flores wants, please don't let her get it.
Thank you.
Raul, or Ms. Flores, just for clarification from last week, when this item did come up, there is a deadline
Yes,
of
sir.
July 31st.
Yes, sir.
Because that's why we asked you to have the special meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if the deadline is not met,
Then
no
we
one
lose.
gets anything. Yes.
Okay. Second of all, what wasn't discussed was your meeting last night with the
Policy
Policy Council. You said last week that there has to be concurrence from the Policy Council as well as Commissioners Court.
That's right.
There has to be concurrence for the action to take place.
Yes, sir.
Last night, they heard this petition from the court to reconsider, to look at different options.
Yes, sir.
The two options were presented to them. I imagine there was a lot of discussion. I know we had members from the representatives from the members of court there yesterday.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, after hearing, I heard it was a lengthy meeting
Yes, sir.
last night. We disclosed what the action item was approved through the Policy Council
The
pertaining to this?
recommendation, yes, the recommendation
Yes.
that you see here before you is what was approved by the Policy Council.
Okay, and just, again, re-emphasize what did
The-
they approve?
They approved the 3.2 across, I'm sorry, the 2.32 across the board, and the differential of 50% of what was there for the 5 positions. They also approved the process of moving the lowest paid employees up to the 20,500. Those
So-
were the action items that
So, just for clarification, obviously you stated earlier that you would not be, the 5 positions would not have the adjustment on the COLA. So
Right.
now changing it from last week to this week, I think it was, those 5 positions were anywhere between 12 to 16%. Now you're
yes, sir.
looking at 3.7 to 5.7%, somewhere around there.
Right,
give or
taking
take.
away the COLA amount, yes.
Okay. Which would be the difference between the 2.3, and, okay.
Yes, sir.
I see it.
The highest raise would be at a 5%.
How many of the employees are getting bumped up to 20,500?
400?
400 of them?
Yes, sir.
400 currently are below 20,500,
Yes,
20,500, and they're getting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, 400. That's our bus drivers, our
Right.
bus aides.
Yeah, I just didn't have a count. It was-
Okay, they're 400. That's about 50% of our staff.
Okay.
And these monies will be able to be sustained for 5 years?
We will have to, right now, the waiver is for a year and a half, and every year we'll have to apply for that waiver so that we can continue to have the number of children in there, which, the Office of Head Start has to act through that, and we'll be coming back again for the waiver and the process of doing it. But right now, it's at a year and a half, okay? And so when you look at anything that's going to be sustained, maintained, we've never taken a step backward and cut people's salaries. So one way or another, we'll manage to see how we can continue to maintain it at the level that it's at, because it's the level that was approved with the waiver, okay?
Because after we get through all of this, the most important thing is that we continue to provide great service.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's bottom line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it is to the tune of $162 million into the economy of this county for the next 5 years.
And if we don't approve this right now, we lose the whole thing, right?
That's it. Yes, sir. The COLA is lost. Yes, sir. Not the grant, just the COLA.
The COLA, right?
Yes, sir. I don't know, did you get the handout on the,
I got it.
okay, shows the percentages in there too.
Any other questions?
No other questions.
Did you, Raul, Mr. Siguero,
Yes, sir.
did you look into those five employees and see their history of raises or differential COLAs? Can you report to us about that?
We haven't had a chance, and I'm working on, as indicated by Ms. Flores, or somebody asked a question, I've got people working on research in the last 5-6 years. And I mentioned earlier that the normal assignment of COLAs is an across-the-board type of environment. In this case, when Mrs. Flores undertook an initiative, or actually it was required by Head Start, to upgrade the teachers' educational credentials. When they upgraded those credentials where teachers had to require bachelor's degrees or associate's degrees, the salaries for them had to be increased. And what she's indicating to me that in the past COLAs have been used to address certain groups. Teachers with one COLA, the differential applied to the teachers. At another COLA, the differential applied to center directors. So I think this is the final group that is being addressed through a differential, where normally it's an across the board kind of thing, because they only have that COLA money as an opportunity to address any salary issues. So I haven't finished my research, but I can give you a report back sometime soon.
I want to mention with the teachers, approximately 5 had an associate's degree when I came into this program. We are at 112 having associate degrees, and we have the other 80, because there are 82 teachers have a bachelor's degree. To convert a teacher from non-degreed to associate degrees, it takes $7,000 plus benefits. To convert a non-degree teacher to a bachelor's degree, it takes $10,000 plus benefits. That cost has had, because it didn't happen all in 1 year. It's an absorption process that occurred over the years to the tune of $1.6 million that we didn't get any additional funds. This is why I'm saying that we've had to do with what we have. In the 13 years I've been there, we have cut 98 positions plus 18 more, 116 positions. You know, you average that for the number of years, and you can see how it is that our staff has shrunk, yet the services have continued to be of quality. Shrinking did not take away someone from a job and send them home. That is not there. We have never sent somebody home because we needed to cut 5 positions to be able to pay these other teachers more money or this other staff more money. That has never happened in our program. If anyone has gone through a termination process, it has followed the procedures having to do with some particular violation of some kind of standard or Head Start or child care. We are a child care license, so all of that enters into the picture.
I have a question. So on number 3, the deletion of the 18 positions, that'll fund the increases in number 4?
Yes, sir.
Can we get that over with? I think everybody seems to be.
On that one, I think we're good.
I'll move to approve item 3.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And I make a motion to approve number 4.
Second.
Which is the increase to the 20,500.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
So on that other one, we don't have but 2 choices, either yes or no. We can't go a different position. No. Different, according to the Policy Council meeting yesterday.
Yes, sir. The procedure through bylaws is that it goes to Policy Council and then it comes here. In the 13 years that I've been there, there's never been a disagreement except this time, okay? And the disagreement was table it or no action and go back. It went back with an understanding of what it was that needed to happen and come back with that process in place. But at this point, an approval that doesn't consider the recommendation of the Policy Council or as approved by the Policy Council will mean that we will not have any more time to do anything else.
So at this time, do we have an opportunity to vote for just so the court can consider? Can we vote for A, the 2.32 raise, and not B? No, I know that's not your recommendation.
Yeah. Well, we have our legal counsel here.
Can we have your legal counsel address the court?
And there's a legal counsel over here.
Yeah. No, because and see, I didn't want to get into this position, and that's why I wanted options so that we can kind of decide amongst the court which way to go. And so,
I guess the problem, or maybe not necessarily the problem, but the situation is that, let's suppose that two options came to you. Then the policy council would have done what? You see, because they
Recommend
have
two
to
options.
approve. Yes, and that's not how it was approved. Yes, sir.
I wanted to be clear on that last meeting that was important to us, to have options.
Commissioner, we're looking at options. It's just that there's such a huge number of employees in that department as to do the calculations, and we had a very limited amount of time to work with.
Raul, I think Commissioner has a valid question. It's just a legal question. Whether or not, his specific question is whether or not we can take action to 16A2A and not B, and we just wanted to see if that has any effect to the application.
I'm not an attorney, and
I know. I'm not asking.
No. What I was going to say,
I'm not asking you the question.
What I was going to say is, I believe, but I have talked to Steve about researching this item. I believe that the law with regard to Head Start, the governing body and the policy council has changed. That would allow you to do that, but I don't think we have implemented that in terms of the bylaws or things that are in agreement right now. So maybe Rick can explain some of that. But I believe
I'm going to tell you one thing, that if on 16.2B, if these 5 employees haven't had a raise in 5 years, that I myself would be fine with it. But that's why I asked you that question. And so,
I believe that is the case, is it
Yes.
not?
A salary differential, a salary raise, no. COLA, yes. Okay? Salary, no.
all 5, you could
All
say.
five. Well, I
an
can say
equivalent
that 4. We probably had one that may have had some adjustment in the salary, but the other 4, no.
Okay,
salary,
now I
no.
guess we could go to the legal question. I'm trying to get all the options out, Steve. That's what I'm trying to pull out, so that we have opportunities to make an informed decision.
Rick, Raul tried to do the best he could as a lawyer, but I'm not degree needs help.
I'm not sure I'll do much better. I'll try and address any question that the commission may have, although you have very competent counsel.
Do you understand the question,
I don't know if
Steve?
you got a question of me.
Steve, we can maybe start with you. Do you understand my question?
I think the question is, and Commissioner, correct me if I'm wrong, can the Commissioner's Court approve item 2A and not approve item 2B?
And basically,
or vice versa.
How much is the 5 salaries adjustments? Is that 50,000?
No.
Total.
How much is it?
It's 30 for the whole year, 30 for the whole year with
So
benefits,
15?
and it's 50% of
the
that.
difference is 26,000 on an annual basis.
So 13,
On those
because
5
we already
positions.
did the first. So in other words, could we approve the 2.45 and then lose 2.32 and lose these potential monies for the 5? Not that that's going to be somebody's vote, right? I'm just saying, is that an option? Steve?
I was informed this morning about this, about Raul, and that was our court started, so I need to look at the CFR and the application, maybe if I haven't been provided the application, to see if there's anything in the application that would address that.
The issue is time. We don't have a whole lot of time. The item was discussed at length last night. Your staffs were there for about an hour and a half. It was hotly contested, and ultimately that's what the Policy Council recommended to this board. You don't agree? There's a process for an impasse.
Well, I mean, we know what the Policy Council did, Rick, but can we legally do this? I assume the answer is yes, if you allow the Policy Council to proceed and consider both options.
Well, they were given both options. This is what they presented. They're presenting to the commission today.
Well, our question is very direct. It's can the court take action on item 16
B.
2A,
Okay.
and it not affect, regardless of what Policy Council did last night. Do we have the authority to do that?
I don't
And
know.
will that?
Rick, can I interrupt? Maybe I have a better way to say the question.
Go ahead.
Can the court at this meeting approve item 2A, which is the COLA to Head Start employees listed on Exhibit A? Can they take no action on 2B and bring that up again at a future meeting?
No, we just don't want to see that.
Future meeting, no.
We would just vote it down, I guess, because of the time.
But if you vote it down, the question is, does that affect the entire COLA, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be a question answered by the Head Start.
No,
Not by our board either.
Well, my issue is a concurrent issue.
Yeah.
The board, the issue pertaining, as it was discussed before, about two boards being in concurrence with. If they heard both items yesterday,
Yeah.
and the court took action to this, which is a variation of what they recommended, would that in
Would
fact?
still constitute action by vote.
There we go. That's my question.
Ms. Flores has got something from the regional
The
program director.
application calls for COLA to be for everybody. And that's part of it. The recommendation is coming in one direction from the Policy Council, and you're wanting to take other action. In our standards, okay, there's a section there that calls for the duties and responsibilities of the Policy Council as well as the Grantee Board. And the Policy Council, of course, approves and disapproves in the sections that are listed here. I provided this before, last time. And it talks about the must approve and disapprove. And it states, the group that must be involved in the decision-making process prior to the point of seeking approval. If it does not approve, a proposal cannot be adopted, or the proposed action taken until agreement is reached between the disagreeing groups. Okay, that's this.
Did y'all have an agenda last night?
Yes, sir.
And can you read to me the item that was approved? Was it approved as A and B, or was it approved as one item? Because we either have to concur or not concur.
That's correct. You do either concur or not concur.
Right, because we both have to
It
approve
was
this.
presented as one item.
It was approved as one item?
Yes, sir. There's a procedure under our bylaws back in 1995 that provides for resolving this issue. There's an impasse where there isn't an agreement between the two boards. And we sort of did that last week with your staff on Thursday. We met with members of your staffs.
The agenda read, and we listed the agenda with guidance from Mr. Silguero's office and Valdez's office. Discussion, consideration, and action to submit an application for a cost of living adjustment COLA that is provided in the 2016-2021 Notice of Award, NOAA, issued by the Department of Health and Human Services to the Hidalgo County Head Start program for the year beginning July the 1st, 2016 to December the 31st, 2016. And then it has the detail, discussion and consideration to submit an application for the cost of living that is provided in the Notice of Award from the Department of Health and Human Services. It calls for the announcement information being presented and approval to implement the awarded COLA for the program. And then it goes on to describe, it has the letter from the COLA announcing that, and then it talks about the narrative, and in the narrative of the application is where it talks about the amount, and it talks about the differential.
That's what the agenda item says? It's that lengthy?
Yeah, that's part of the agenda here. But what I read to you, the first statement was the agenda itself, the item on the agenda. This
Can I
is
see it?
supplied. Yes.
Can I see it?
Judge.
And we provide this agenda to all commissioners.
Yes, Steve. Judge, Commissioners, just as for information purposes, I know the court knows this, but I think the public needs to know that the Policy Council is composed 51% of parents of the Head Start children and 49% of community representatives. So that is the composition of the Policy Council. I think that's important to realize who they are and why they look at this and how it's designed so that it needs to be concurrent between the policy council and the governing body.
So if we're going to move forward, we approve or disapprove A and B, correct?
We don't know that you can, well.
I don't think we could separate because the agenda.
The way the agenda of the policy council acted, and Mr. Gonzalez, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's a disagreement between the policy council and the commissioner's court, there are procedures specified for
Under your bylaws.
under the bylaws for the two bodies to get together and try to come to consensus. The
We don't
only
have
problem
time.
we have right now is we don't have time to do that.
I make a motion to approve item 2A and B.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Flores.
Thank you very much. You are invited to any of our sessions. We have a large group session tomorrow at the Convention Center, and then small group sessions at Alamo High School for the next 6 days. Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, I don't think there's any thing under Health and Human Services, 13A1 and 13B1.
I believe Mr. Olivares is at the Lone
Yes,
Star
at the
program.
Lone Star program, so I don't believe we have any discussion.
You may
All right.
mention the Lone Star program going on. Do you have the information? If not, come back to it.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. Let me get the information right now.
All right, then we'll proceed to item number 14, our IT department.
We did that one, Judge.
We did that.
Oh, that's when I took, when covered planning come in?
No.
Okay, item 15, planning.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. TJ Adelondo for the record. First item is preliminary approval for Brushline Estate subdivision in Precinct 4. It's a 6-lot subdivision. We're recommending approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Next items are for final approval. We have La Jolla ISD Elementary number 24 in Precinct 3, Sunset Valley Phase 3 in Precinct 1, Maiz Acres number 6 in Precinct 1, and Cordova Heights subdivision in Precinct 1. We're recommending approval for all 4.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, TJ.
All right, item 17, our budget office.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Federal
Morning,
Police
sir.
Department Budget Management. Item 17A is requesting approval to submit payment of funds request in the amount of $811,470.33 through the previously awarded public assistance grants 4223 severe storms, tornadoes, straight line winds, and flooding to reimburse eligible cost of approved project scope of work 1905 with authority for county judge to sign all the required documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 17B1, A and B, is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for revenues received from the city of McAllen for the FM 1925 project and appropriation of those funds in the amount of $71,470.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, on Commissioner Cantu, as he stated earlier, with respect to Eddie Olivares' item, just as an update to the public on Operation Lone Star. That's why Mr. Olivares couldn't be here. Operation Lone Star is currently underway. It's an emergency preparedness exercise, and it helps us and the residents with information with respect to getting ready for disasters. Within that seminar, there's services that are being provided, such as immunizations for the children. There's diabetic screening. There's blood pressure screening, hearing and vision screening. There's also sports physicals that are being provided. Additionally, in La Jolla and San Juan, there's dental and vision exams for prescription glasses for adults and children. And in Rio Grande City, there's preventative dental service and for school-age children. Again, Operation Lone Star is underway. It started Monday, July 25th, and it goes through July 28th, Thursday. It is and Monday. and through Friday, July 29th. So again,
PSJ High School,
Yes.
PSJ High School
Yes.
in San Juan, and then La Jolla. Which one is it? Which La Jolla school?
It just says La Jolla, San Juan, PSJ High School.
Okay.
And
It's not the original La Jolla High School.
Right,
It's
no,
the second
it's
one.
the second one, if I'm mistaken. And Juarez Lincoln High School.
There you go.
Juarez Lincoln High
In
School.
La Jolla.
In La Jolla.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioner.
Yes, sir. And now let's move on to item 18, purchasing.
Martha Salazar for Purchasing Department. 18A, Hidalgo County presentation of bids received and as detailed in the supporting documentation. To award for the purpose of award to the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid, including meeting of all specifications. Approval of the contract document. We had 14 packets requested, 6 bids were submitted, and the recommendation with concurrence from the affected departments is security guard services for the security guard services is to Valley-wide security.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
No action at this time on item B, all items listed. We're going on to item B2, requesting approval to process the following invoices as claims with of authority for the county treasurer to process after the procedures by the auditor's office have been completed. This is to RICO, 2 invoices as printed on the agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is A is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court those firms that were scored and graded. These were Tedsy Infrastructure Group at 98, Quintanilla Headley and Associates at 93, Hinojosa Engineering 89. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C is authority for purchasing department to negotiate a professional engineering services agreement for project Indian Hills, FEMA. It's a direct FEMA project, 4245, located within Hidalgo County Precinct 1, and to commence with Tedsy.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
D is requesting exemption under 262-024A, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, is presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court. Engineering services for Las Nubes, Old River Road, Marlin Lot Road, FEMA project 4245, located in Precinct 1, Aranda and Associates 96, Cruz Hogan Consultants 91, and Cortran Engineering at 88. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F is giving authority to the purchasing department to negotiate a professional engineering services contract with commence for all of the projects listed, commencing with the number 1 ranked firm of Aranda and Associates.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item G is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements, Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move to. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid of the 3 engineering firms that were graded and scored. LaFever Engineering Management Consulting, 96. Bettis Consulting Engineers, 93. Javier Hinojosa Engineering at 87. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Authority Purchasing Department to commence negotiations for a professional engineering services agreement for projects mile 13.5, mile 11 north, and Yvette Circle, FEMA, project 4245, with LaFever.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item J, acceptance and approval of a professional services agreement number 256 with LaFever Engineering and Management Consulting, LLC, job-specific FEMA projects Mile 8 north between 2 Mile East and address 1267, Mercedes, Texas. 2 Mile 2 East, starting at address 4254, ending in Mile 4 Northeast, Mercedes, Texas. 3 Mile 2.5 East between Mile 3 North and Mile 4 Northeast, Mercedes, Texas. And number 4 is Mile 4 North between FM 491 and Pedro Martinez Road, Mercedes, Texas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Acceptance and approval of work authorization 1 with an estimated cost of $20,789.55 as submitted by project engineer Lefevre Engineering Management Consulting, LLC, FEMA project site number 8, Mile 8 North between 2 Mile East and address 1267, Mercedes, Texas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
L, acceptance and approval work authorization 2 with an estimated cost of $20,789.55 as submitted by project engineer Lefevre Engineering and Management Consulting, FEMA project site number 10, Mile 2 East, starting at address 4254 and ending Mile 4 Northeast, Mercedes, Texas.
Move for
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item M, acceptance and approval work authorization 3 with an estimated cost of $29,517.21 as submitted by project engineer Lefevre. And this is the FEMA project site number 11, Mile 2.5 East between Mile 3 North and Mile 4 Northeast, Mercedes, Texas.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
N, acceptance and approval work authorization 4 with an estimated cost of $17,417.57 as submitted by project engineer Lefevre. This is FEMA project number 12, site number 12, Mile 4 North between FM 491 and Pedro Martinez Road, Mercedes, Texas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
C1, this is for Precinct 3, approval of clarification to change order number 2 in connection with Precinct 3's Mile 2 North roadway project, reflecting the correct amount of $27,021.63 for a new contract amount of $1,568,626 to include 37 additional working days from contracted vendor IOC Company LLC and as recommended by project engineer LNG Engineering.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Precinct 4, item D1, acceptance and approval of final construction contract document for the project concrete walking trail at San Carlos CRC and Sunflower Park. Awarded action was on 6/20/16, agenda item 55028, to G&G contractors in the amount of $82,936.65.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Under item E1, this is for the Sheriff's Office, requesting approval of an amendment to current contract number 264 with GTL/Value Added Communications Incorporated, known as VACI, to comply with FCC regulations for inmate paid telephone services for the Sheriff's Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That is all I have. Thank you.
All right, well, let's move back to item number 9A, our tax office. Mr. Guerra, do you want to handle it, or?
Yes, Judge. I'm sorry, not yes. Yeah, I apologize for that. Yes. For Mr. Villarreal, he does have a discussion, consideration, acceptance, and approval of an Amendment 1, which is lease of State of Texas registration and title system, which is the RTS, Information Resource and Support, to the agreement for the use of State of Texas automation equipment. The agreement between the County of Vidal and the State of Texas Registration and Title System Amendment reflects 8 additional systems at the reopened office located in McAllen. Judge Commissioners, this is a request for us to go ahead and start what we need to do with the State of Texas in order to get these RTS, the system RTS, the equipment down, so that we can complete the project that we've been working on for the McAllen tax office substation. located off Hackberry. So yes, we do, this is a, I am asking the court for approval on behalf of Mr. Villarreal.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge Commissioners, item 19, open forum. We do have some participants. We do have three that are related requests or are related in the subject matter. So it's on Indian Hills street repair. Denise Martinez, Lourdes Salinas, and Sarah Montelongo.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Denise Martinez, and I'm here on behalf of Proyecto Azteca. We want to thank Commissioner Cuellar for helping the communities in his visit, like Indian Hills, for the streets.
Buenos días, comisionados. Mi nombre es Lourdes Salinas. Yo vivo en Indian Hills West. Voy a hablar también por mi compañera Saraí Montelongo, no ha llegado, la voy a representar también. Quiero darle gracias a ustedes como comisionados y sobre todo a Fema y al comisionado A.C. Cuellar por todo este tiempo. Hemos luchado en estas dos colonias por más de 12 años para que se nos arreglaran las calles porque están muy feas. Ya los buses no querían entrar a recoger a los niños. Se golpeaban mucho sus cabecitas, entonces hemos estado en la lucha por más de 12 años esperando que se nos arreglaran las calles y ahorita estamos muy contentos. Nos avisaron tarde, había llamado a un grupo de muchachas que viven ahí en el Indian Hill East, pero no han llegado a tiempo, pero están muy contentos y muy agradecidos con ustedes por tomarse de este tiempo y que finalmente se nos van a componer las calles de esta colonia de Indian Hill East. Muy agradecidas, hay mucho agradecimiento y les agradecemos que se tomen este tiempo para estas comunidades que tienen tanta necesidad como son estas dos colonias. Gracias.
We have Ms. Opal Billman.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
My name is Opal Billman. For a divorce settlement, the court awarded our community property to two corporations. The corporations are claiming to be selling our community property. Banks are claiming to have placed liens on our debt-free community property in the amount of $1,060,412.70. Individuals are borrowing this money from the banks using our debt-free community property as their collateral. Individuals taking the bank's money are robbing the bank. The bank's money is insured, so these individuals can just divvy up the take among themselves. The corporations, therefore, Wall Street, are using these banks who are dispensing loans without legitimate collateral for the purpose of Wall Street acquiring our community property. The bank's money is insured. Our debt-free community property without legal security of ownership is just up for grabs. And Wall Street is a-grabbing, selling off our community property to their investors as their stock. Joe Billman and I own this property. Where is all of the money going? Joe got not one red penny. It's been 20 years of imprisonment for me, and not one red penny from our income-producing community property. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, Judge Commissioners, again, in fairness to the two speakers that were up before, that was one item they wanted to talk Ms. Fema Clarity, you have 1.8 seconds left of your 3 minutes.
Second.
1.8 seconds
Okay.
of your 3 minutes on, because I know you had another.
You ready?
1 minute.
I'm ready.
And 8
1
seconds.
minute and 8 seconds.
No, he said 1 point something. How much?
1 minute, 8 seconds.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying I only had like eighth of a second. Hot damn, I was going to go. Okay. My question again, get the 5-year study. You okayed this today. You should have gave them just the COLA, the 2%. And I'd also like to remark that the lady that was speaking in Spanish that y'all interpret, because I did know there's something about AC. I don't know if it was good or bad, but I did get that. So, like I say, we're still in the United States, and I would like it a little bit in English so I would know. But please get the study, the 5-year study, and then also check on the degrees. They push that you have to have a degree, and some of these don't have it. So please check. Thank you.
Thank you. And just as a interpretation of what was said earlier, in essence, the comments were that they were thanking Commissioner AC with respect to the repairs that were done in that area on that particular street and in general the surrounding area, that it's made for better improvement for the individuals in that area, especially the kids of the area. That's the Cliff's Notes version.
All right, is that it?
And we have one last speaker, Ms. Norma Saldana. You have 1 minute, 31 seconds, if you so choose. Thank you. Okay. We have no other schedule.
All right, at this time, pursuant to 551-071 and 072, I would need a motion to proceed to executive session. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, we're back in open session. Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Under open session 22A, real estate acquisition appropriation for same, there's no action to be taken. 22B, pending or potential litigation, there is no action to be taken. 22C, pending or potential litigation at the municipal airport in the city of Edinburgh property, there's no action to be taken. We'll just proceed as directed. Item 22D, CL-16-2846-F, Raymond Rojas versus Hidalgo County. Judge, Commissioners, I want to refer back to item 21A and D. 21A, I'm requesting exemption from the competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-02484, professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation. Motion to that effect.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 21B, requesting engagement with the firm of Preston Hendrickson for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation and authority to submit a letter of engagement subject to compliance with House Bill 1295. This action would be specific to item open session 22D, CL-16-2846F, Raymond Rojas versus Hidalgo County.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 22E, Hidalgo County versus Holchema. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like for the court to entertain a motion to accept a settlement agreement and general release of claims in the matter of Hidalgo County versus Holchema, which would include a check payable to Holchema from the County of Hidalgo in the amount of $4,600.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 22F, claim of Lone Star National Bank. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $205.35.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Item 22G, claim of City of FAR. Judge, Commissioners, again, I would like settlement authority to make an offer in the amount of $8,384.80.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, there's no reason to go back into close or open, so we have item 25, adjournment, and then we have to open up a workshop posted.
Move to adjourn.
Yes, our next Commissioners Court meeting will be Tuesday, August 9th.
Those
Tuesday,
in-
August 9th.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.